My mom's last wish became my prison, one I'll suffocate in if I stay any longer. My mom died of COVID when I was 15 and made me promise to take care of my 5 brothers and dad. 3 years later, I'm still cooking every meal, doing every chore, and I just lost my dream college because of it. It started sophomore year of high school when she said, take care of them for me, just until they get back on their feet. My dad was right there when she said it. I had 5 brothers, 2 already in college and 3 in middle school. After the funeral, I started cooking dinner every night because nobody else was, and we were all falling apart. At first, it felt good, like I was doing something useful when everything felt out of control. My grief counselor told me that having structure during grief can be healthy, that it gives you focus besides the pain. I'd come home after school, start dinner, and by the time my dad got home, everything would be ready. Dad would say, you're keeping this family alive just like your mother did, and I felt like I was honoring her. By 16, it wasn't just dinners anymore. Laundry, groceries, cleaning, all of it became my job without anyone saying it out loud. My oldest brother would come home for a weekend and suddenly forget how to work the washing machine. My dad would text me his work schedule so I could plan meals. Then I got invited to homecoming, and I was excited because I'd never been to a school dance. My date was picking me up at 7, but that afternoon my dad called asking if I could prepare a late dinner since he had a meeting after work. I said I had homecoming, but he said, you'll have plenty of time. I started cooking at 4 thinking I'd be done by 6. Then my younger brother knocked over a serving dish and it shattered. By the time I cleaned the glass, my dad got home late, insisted we all eat together, and kept saying, just 10 more minutes, I want to hear about everyone's day. My date texted at 7 asking where I was. By the time I got out at 8:30, he'd already left. I showed up alone at 9. I cried in my room and my dad sat on my bed and said, I know it's hard, but we need you. Your mom would be so proud of how you're holding us together. I wanted to believe sacrificing homecoming meant I was being a good daughter, but I noticed that when I wasn't home, my brothers could suddenly figure out DoorDash. They could work the microwave. They could do their own laundry if they had to. They just chose not to when I was there. Senior year, I got my acceptance letter to an art school I'd been dreaming about since I was 12. I told my family at dinner and the table went silent. My dad said, that's really far away. My oldest brother laughed and said, who's going to cook? My youngest brother looked at me and said, you can't leave us. My dad kept moving food around his plate and finally said, your mother asked you to take care of us? This family needs you more than some art school does. I looked around at them staring at me like I was selfish. The next day, I clicked D for enrollment on my college portal. I graduated high school and spent the next year cooking, cleaning, waiting for things to change. Then the art school emailed asking me to confirm enrollment for the upcoming semester. I stared at the email for 3 days. My dad saw me looking at it and said, you're not seriously still thinking about that, are you? We need you here. I didn't respond. I'd stopped going to therapy after a year because I was too busy. But looking back, I wonder if my therapist would have told me to leave sooner. I was 19 years old making grocery lists while everyone else was starting their lives. My younger brother came into the kitchen and asked me to pack his lunch for school tomorrow. He was 17 too. I realized they were never going to get back on their feet because I wouldn't let them fall. I called a family meeting. I sat them down and told them I was done. My dad said, you're breaking your promise to mom. My oldest brother said, we've all sacrificed for this family. You don't see us abandoning everyone. My youngest brother started crying and said I was tearing the family apart. My dad stood up and said, I'm disappointed in you. Your mother would be ashamed. I looked at him and said, Mom said, until you got back on your feet, it's been 3 years. You're on your feet, you just don't want to stand. The next day, I put a folder on the table with meal services and cooking classes and left. I texted once, I'm safe, I'm not coming back. Mom wanted me to help you heal, not replace her forever. A year later, I'm taking art classes and reapplying to colleges.